lights are on, and it is a blessed, wonderful, beautiful, early, sleepless Monday morning to kick off the week with the love high and the hate low. Of course, it is your host, the ultimate sensei, the one that they do, in fact, call him, but we'll save the rest for next weekend because we just did it last night anyways. But thank you guys for being tuned in on this late night edition of Pull Up a Chair. This is episode 97. And to dive right into it, as you can tell, I was prepped, I was ready, I was prepared. Very happy to see ASAP Rocky free. But before we get into that, once again, thank you to everybody for watching this live in the wee early hours of the vampire hours of the AM. Appreciate it. In fact, we're actually approaching the witching hour here in about 14 minutes for those who know what that is. But with that being said, though, I'm still a little nasally, but I did just want to tap in and kind of just speak on everything that's unfolded over the past week in this simulation that we call 2025. And thank you guys for being tuned into Sleepless Radio last night. That was a hard-fought battle. But like I said, I wanted to go over this and kind of just, have some fun as always, have a little bit of a late night edition. So if you don't mind, I'll take a little swig real quick. And if you haven't already, of course, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned in because, as you can see, you never know when we might go live and when you never know when we're going to be having some fun, especially when I got the Bruise phone. They've been flowing all night long. Watched LFG. That was awesome. Watched the new Devon Dudley and Maven videos on YouTube. That was really great content as well. Watched the greatest Royal Rumble moments of the 80s and the 90s, which was super dope. But got to dive into the week, though. There's a lot of things to talk about. Had a blessed, wonderful, beautiful day with my beautiful wife today. So that, you can always start off there. Had a great trip to the mall, great little adventure, and ended up just having a relaxing, cozy Sunday after a great, blessed, wonderful, beautiful, sleepless Saturday. But on this special edition, a late night edition of Pull Up a Chair, did just want to say, to kick this thing off, we're going to bring the mood down just for a skosh, and then we're going to bring it right back as always. But something that I mentioned yesterday on Sleepless Radio as well. R.I.P. to the late, great Queen Valletta Wallace, mother of Biggie Smalls, mother of Christopher C.J. Wallace. Got to take a good drink. Got to put one back for him. I mean, I know it's Oscar season and it's award season. We just had the SAG-AFTRAs tonight, which I thought Timothée Chalamet winning for Bob Dylan deserved a round of applause playing his role in The Complete Unknown. I thought that was amazing. Colin Farrell won for his Penguin role. I thought that was amazing, much deserved. But Angela Bassett got robbed when she played Valletta in Notorious. I stand on those toes to this day that she got robbed when she played Valletta in Notorious because she deserved that shit. But I'm going to tell you what, there's another person that got snubbed. Excuse me. Excuse him all. But Tom Hanks got snubbed when they didn't let him get the Oscar for playing Sully. And we need Sully now more than ever because these planes have been crashing all over the frickin' place. I mean, literally all over the place. The only airlines that are safe is Spirit somehow. You got Delta planes landing topsy-turvy on their backside. You got fucking all the... Oh, we're past 7 seconds, so I guess I can swear and still be monetized. But you got all these airlines that are just having Southwest, all these airlines that are just having so many issues. We need to get that Hudson River landing zone ready because right now it's looking spooky for these planes. In fact, I'm worried. My wife's getting on a plane here soon going to Fort Lauderdale, and I'm over here like trying to calm her nerves, keep her at ease. Hopefully she doesn't watch this, but I'm over here like, I don't know. I see a couple more of these planes go. I don't know, but she is flying Spirit. And as always, we keep the faith high and the love high, and we manifest positively. So, we're just wishing for the best, and that's really all you can do in those situations. But saw that other plane, though, that said, oh, yeah, we hit a bird. Bird? The dent on that, would you hit Mothra? That thing's a fucking hole in the size of that plane. You didn't hit no fucking eagle. You didn't hit no falcon. That thing's the size of a fucking half of a football field. Would you hit the dragon from Aragon? That thing's insane. I don't know. All these plane crashes, though, it makes me wonder. I don't want to put the tinfoil on. I think it just comes down to air traffic control right now is just doing a shitty job. But either way, with all these plane crashes, I know that World Trade Center's got to be sweating. got to be sweating at this point, even crazier than I said last time. At this point, it's sweating like Rocky at the fucking stand. His knees weak, arms were heavy, vomit on his sweater already, re spaghetti. I mean, this dude was, you could see he was breathe in, breathe out. I mean, my goodness. But with that being said, that's why I said I had to rock the ASAP Rocky tonight. I'm so glad that I got to see him live when I did. Got to see him on when he popped off originally with the purple swag. It was him, Schoolboy, and Danny Brown. I've been a fan of ASAP Rocky ever since that purple swag. Ever since I saw that hit the internet, I've been a huge fan. So with that being said, I am happy to say as we kick off talking about music, it is official that ASAP Rocky, Rakeem Myers, has been found not guilty. And he took a running leap and jumped into Rihanna's arms like Whitney Houston, Always Will Love You, was playing in the background. I mean, he was going crazy. I think the attorney, ASAP Joe, I mean, he might need to drop an EP. You know, I mean, ASAP 12, he stood 100 toes down. You know, I mean, ASAP 12, literally acted like as if he doesn't have eyes. And that's amazing. He's like, oh, yeah, no, ever since we were 10 years old, yeah, I always knew he had a prop gun on him. He's always had the prop gun. I was like, man, you need friends like that right there. Instead of putting Andy on the bottom of your shoe, sketch a 12 on the bottom of that, Rocky, because he fucking deserves it after riding for you like that. And I got to say, Rocky, he shares the award this week. But ASAP Rocky, you get to hold one half of the award, just like Lay Cool when they split the title in half. You get to hold half of the award for this week's edition of Stirring Up the Honkies. Way to stir up the honkies, Rocky. You got them all riled up talking about, oh, you guess what? You know what? What DX say? 2 words. Suck it, baby. I know that was a half-ass job, but it still holds suit. Speaking of which, there was somebody who followed suit on stirring up them honkies, and that's the fact that Jay-Z has his charges now dismissed. They have been dropped and dismissed. That person gave up the fight, and he ended up speaking out and saying that he feels bad, which as we all do in these situations, which are unfortunate, that, man, these victims, they deserve better because there's real victims out there, and then there's victims like this in such situations like the Jay-Z one, where it's like hypothetical victims in this case, because it's like, come on. You know, there's real victims out there that have a hard time speaking out because of people like you that make it that much more difficult. Man, it's terrible to see it go down that way. But I know I might actually get the award for stirring up the honkies this week because, you know, I've been seeing this narrative going around, and there's been these pictures going around, and of course these memes of Ariana Grande and how skinny she looks, and Ariana Grande and how unhealthy she looks, and Ariana Grande about how blah, 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 blah. I'm throwing out there right now. I've been throwing controversial takes one after another, just reeling them out there episode after episode. So I'm going to say another one. I'm not attending the Ariana Grande pity party. I'm not attending it. I have no interest in attending that pity party. She has negative karma that's been surrounding her like the bats surrounded General Ram in Gears of War for absolute years now. And you know what? I'm sick of it. And, you know, if people want to sit around and feel bad for Ariana Grande, go ahead and be my guest. But you know what? I'm not going to be there for that pity party. I'm not taking that ticket and leaving my coat on the coat hanger. I ain't doing that. And, you know, if people want to ride out and want to show for and show all love, I get it. As always, it is keep the love high and the hate low. But I also got to keep it $1.50. I got to keep it a bean. I got to keep it a stack. And, you know, I think the Ariana Grande, I get it. Wicked successful. I haven't got to see that movie yet. But at the same time, one, I don't really have too much interest in that. That could be controversial as well. Oh, well. But yeah, no, as far as Ariana Grande is concerned, I'm good on the pity party for her bullshit. I don't care if she ends up showing her whole rib cage, to be honest. Ruh-roh, I promise I didn't turn heel on you. I mean, for God's sake, she's built like Groot. Like, literally, she's gonna say, like, I am Ari. Like, I don't know. I'm over Ariana Grande. If I talk too long on Ariana Grande, the hate's gonna be too high, and I don't like to do that. So keep love high and the hate low. Wish the best for her always. Of course, I wish health. I don't wish negative on her. I don't wish anything negative on her whatsoever. Don't ever misconstrue that or take that the wrong way. So to try to pivot and put the mood back up, how about I go over some new music? One, I'll tell you this right now. My highest recommendation of the week is that new St. John album. That new St. John album festival season is absolutely amazing. I highly recommend that to the highest degree. He's genre bending all over the place. Good Brother Doomer is tuned in live on the late night edition of Pull Up a Chair. We're having fun as always. Tuned in at the best time for the best music, for the new music reviews too as well, which I do believe are the best music reviews when we get Doomer and Tucker together. But festival season, once again, I do highly recommend it because of how much I love St. John and how much I've been getting spoiled on new music this year. I'm going to actually give a top 5 instead of a just top 3. One of them I played on the pre-show last night, so give me 1 for Guyanese Mosh Pit. Give me 2, Hunting Nirvana. Give me 3, Stones. Give me 4, Fuck Being Sad. That's V instead of a U on the fuck, so make sure to include that when you go to add it. And then for 5, I would probably say Pray for Poochie, because I thought that was just an overall great record. I loved his melody on that. Thought that was dope. I actually thought Nardo Wick overall had a solid album, which I wasn't really expecting that. But HBK with 21 Savage, which I also played on the pre-show last night, and I thought Don't Stop was really good as well. I thought Dave East and Ransom dropped a great album, even though Dave East got renegated the entire album, as Doomer said earlier in the Musicology group chat. If you know, you know. But Jay Electronica, he slid on the final call, which was named after the album as well. Dave East was barring out left and right like a good Zan plug. But Dave East, though, he's going to need some catching up. He still sounds like a bagel to me. I don't know. But no, a lot of good records on that joint as well. See, album-wise, we had... Well, that actually does it for albums for me. But we also had a nice 2-pack single, which was Benny the Butcher doing a record with Ill Tone Beats, which was 36 ounces in a Mercedes. And then we had Conway the Machine and Ill Tone Beats Pick a Side, which I also thought was a banger. In fact, I actually will say and go on record that I thought that was the better one of the two. Joey Badass finally dropped not only his new record, Pardon Me, but the Sorry Not Sorry and the Ruler's Back as a 3-pack on Apple Music and all DSPs, which I added as well. And then we got Short and Sweet Deluxe with Sabrina Carpenter, which I also added that. I thought 15 minutes was a fucking banger. I have been rocking with Sabrina Carpenter a lot more since her performance at the Grammys. I was really impressed by that. And singles-wise, to include two as well, I also like the Terrace Martin, Drum, and ASAP Ferg joint called Full Speed. We got The Bullfighter by No Leaf Hoffman for those yeehaw country fans out there. And to close out on the singles and new music reviews, I also really enjoyed Mario Coins by IDK. Good brother Kuzi, my shake and bake brother, and I know he really likes IDK. Doomer appreciates him as well. He said, by the way, both the Benny and Conway joints are on a BSF album dropping in a few weeks. I was unfamiliar with that. I did not know that ball. But thank you for filling me in, brother. And then tonight, just a little something I figured I would include. I did revisit The Mutt by Leon Thomas after listening to the new Rory joint a ton, which is Who Are You Anyways, if I haven't bigged that up enough. But no, I really love that joint, though, and that album with Leon Thomas, but I went back to that one. But now to pivot to some other reviews, this would be not only a new movie review, but a new documentary that I watched that I wanted to review as well. I did as a drunkenly purchase because I've been drunkenly buying movies instead of just renting them, which has actually been a fun excursion. It's been a fun little adventure that I kind of embarked myself on. But the most recent movie that I did that with is I bought the Mel Gibson directed with Topher Grace and Mark Wahlberg. I bought Flight Risk. And I've now watched it not once but twice, so I come with a proper review. And man, I think people were hating on it. I think people were hating on it a little bit. I really enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was a really solid movie. I thought Mark Wahlberg did a good job doing a role that I'd never seen him do before. It was great seeing Topher Grace, Red Foreman back on the big screen, and I thought Mel Gibson overall had a nice, fast-paced thriller suspense movie. So, I mean, I wouldn't say buy it, but I mean, I think rent it or at least wait till it hits streaming platforms, and I think you guys will enjoy it a lot. Speaking of streaming platforms, though, that takes me to Netflix, which is where you can find the next review that I'm about to give of the next documentary that I'm about to mention, which this was actually about Gabby Petito. Now, when I saw that the trailer was first coming out, the name looked familiar, but I was like, I'm still not 100% like, I couldn't like, I was like, the name seems familiar. Like, I feel like it's recently trended, but I wasn't like too hip to it until I clicked on it, which I still didn't know much of the background story, but I was like, oh, I remember old girl. RIP, by the way, Gabby Petito, you were done completely, absolutely wrong on that. But that leads me into what I was going to say. For those of you that haven't, but for those of you that have, if you haven't, I do recommend checking out the Gabby Petito doc. But if you have, well, let's talk about it a little bit. I'm excited to see what you guys think as well. That girl was done wrong, man. That girl was done completely wrong. I mean, my goodness. When they pulled her over, literally the original police call was that they saw this woman getting slapped in the car. And then when the cop pulled them over because she was trying to just like get this diffused for the sake of the relationship, it felt like it just ended up just looking like a complete mess to me. It ended up looking like it just shows how, again, it goes back to the victim point. These are real victims that just don't really get to see the light of day. And I get it. She was trying her best for her boyfriend. She was trying the best for the relationship. But at the same time, I mean, those police should have been able to do something a little bit better about that. I don't know. But for those that watch the doc, I'm excited to see what you think. I just hope to see justice for all actual victims, not ones that are just frauds. And, in this situation, obviously, she didn't want to do the cry for help, but there was a cry there, and it just unfortunately never got picked up. But, when they pulled them over, and like at one point, they're like, almost laughing with the guy when he's like, "Oh, it's a misunderstanding." Like, I just kind of like, I'm like, come on, man. The whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, I get it. You want to do bro code, but at some time you got to break the bro code. But it's good to see that they do actually put out these documentaries quick, and it's good to see how many people can see that whole case was handled so poorly and just so badly. And like, the thing that I can't imagine too, this shows that I need I got maturing to do. I got maturing to do. Quoting Mr. Morale bar, but like, maybe I'm not as mature as I think. I got some healing to do. Like, because when I watch in this, in this documentary, I believe it's like episode 2 or 3, because there's like 3 episodes that break it up in. But it's like episode 2, and they're over here talking about how once now he's returned home, he has her van, which is registered in her name. And the mom and dad are like, hey, like, we were never really even too keen on you being her boyfriend, but like, what's up, man? Like, give us a little something. Like, even trying to ask the parents. And they didn't give them jack fucking shit. That pissed me off. That got me hot when I was watching it, because I'm thinking, man, how this dad don't just walk over there with a fucking 12 gauge and end this dude. But, like I said, I definitely am excited to see what you guys think. But at the same time, though, I glad to see the documentary come out, but not glad because of how unfortunate it is that we had to lose some young woman's life over violence that just never should have occurred or even happened in the first place, that most likely could have easily have been preventable. But what do I know? But that leads me to one of the last 2 things that I did want to say before we get ready to close out of this nice, beautiful, amazing late night edition of Pull Up a Chair, which is episode 97. And then we will have a full length episode next Saturday, because I not only have one, but potentially even multiple guests lined up. And I'm looking really forward to that. But I was asked, not only through a couple people at my day job, a couple people just that I talk to in life, but I feel like a recent topic that I keep seeing ever since Myles Garret has requested a trade is that people want to know where's Myles going. Is he leaving? Are we going to bench him? Are the Cleveland Browns going to ship him off to a bum team? What are they going to do? Well, I'm going to throw this out here right now. I think that Myles Garret, go on record, go on wax, will either end on one of three teams. I think the Minnesota Vikings, number one. Green Bay Packers, number two. Number three, Denver Broncos. That's the three teams that I do firmly believe that Myles Garrett's going to go to. But leave your comments and let me know what you guys think as far as where you think or want Myles Garret to end up. And now to close us out before we get ready to give official outro, I did just want to say for those of my wrestling fans out there, my wrestlers, if you guys haven't seen the recent AEW Dynamite Thunder Rosa botch that also involved Penelope Ford and Chris Statlander, I think they probably have scrubbed that by now off of YouTube, but that was hands down the worst botch ever. And I highly recommend checking that out if you guys haven't already. I mean, at some point, it's like, make it stop, just cringeworthy. But for those wrestling fans that didn't get to see that, I do recommend checking that out. If you have MASH, you can pull it up easily. If you have Hulu, maybe you recorded it. Or maybe you watch on TBS with the rest of the cable folk. But no, I do recommend checking that out just how batshit it is. But we got Elimination Chamber this Saturday. We got AEW Revolution March 9th. Which means we got a lot of stuff coming soon, and I wanted to also throw this out here now. I do have a special bonus edition of Bumps and Bruises, so get your WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2 cards ready because I got them in my notes, 5 to 6 matches each night, which we will be going live on a late night edition of Bumps and Bruises, as always, for this week. And we will be speculating on our Night 1 and Night 2 WrestleMania match card. I think I got this shit figured out to a bullseye, but I'm sure you guys will rip me apart, and who knows, I might be a genius or I could be way off. And we will also have another episode of Bumps and Bruises. That's right, not one, but two of them. We will have an Elimination Chamber predictions, hot takes, and who knows, maybe even potential spoilers. Bonus episode of Bumps and Bruises. And next week, we will follow it up with another edition of Bumps and Bruises for an AEW Revolution predictions, spoilers, and who knows, maybe even some hot take tuker takes that just end up panning off to be true. But with that being said, keep the love high and the hate low. Wake up with a smile on. Remind yourselves of 3 things you're grateful for. And most importantly, look in the mirror and say, I love you. And if you haven't already, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Thank you for being tuned in with me live on a blessed, wonderful, beautiful, early Monday morning, a.k.a. late sleepless Sunday night for my fellow vampires that are still awake, such as my good brother Doomer and KRS3. And if you're watching this afterwards, I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. You know what it is. Peace.